Good evening, welcome to the Buck Stops here. I'm Vishnu Shom on the program this evening with the Home Minister Rajnath Singh sounding out a warning on the clear and present danger of ISIS for India. We look at the threat that this group poses on a day when a young Indian who had joined the group has been brought back to the country and is being interrogated by the National Investigating Agency. We ask, is ISIS genuinely making inroads in our country, and is internet recruitment the real danger at this stage? Arif Majid, the alleged IS recruit from Kalyan, being taken to a court in Mumbai. Investigators believe he fought for the terrorist group in Raqqa, Syria and in several places in Iraq before flying back home on Friday.
The National Investigation Agency told the court that Majid's custody was necessary to unearth the local conspiracy that enabled these four men to travel to Iraq and join the Islamic State. The court was also informed that the three others who went with him have been booked as wanted accused.
Booked for conspiracy, planning a terror attack in India and being part of an unlawful organization, he's now been sent to the National Investigating Agency's custody till the 8th of next month. As investigators piece through Arif's story, concern about the growing influence of the IS and Al-Qaeda is growing in the security establishment. Top cops of states and senior intelligence officials are putting their heads together on how to deal with this new threat, whose spread is being largely propagated by the internet.
इंटेलिजेंस शेयरिंग के लिए तो साइबर स्पेस की आवश्यकता है, लेकिन इसका दुरुपयोग हो रहा है, यह सच्चाई है। सबसे बड़ी समस्या सर्वर का भारत में न होना, यह सबसे बड़ी चुनौती है। लेकिन जब आपकी यहां पर कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है तो मैं यह चाहूंगा कि इस संबंध में भी आप यह विचार करें कि बढ़ते हुए साइबर स्पेस के दुरुपयोग को कैसे रोका जा सके। उन्होंने रेडिकलाइजेशन की चर्चा की है सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से। कहां से इनिशिएट होता है? भारत में इसे इनिशिएट करने वाले कौन लोग हैं?
Sources have told NDTV Arif may have been sent back to the IS, perhaps with a specific task in India. Arif still believes in the IS ideology. The Islamic State facilitated Arif's trip to Turkey. Arif has indicated that the Islamic State is looking beyond Syria and Iraq towards the Indian subcontinent.
Following the declaration of caliphate by Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, Syria and Iraq have emerged as the new theaters of global jihad. This development is also having an impact in our country. A few cases of misguided youth traveling to these areas have been reported. The possibility of eventual return of these battle-hardened youngsters trained in various tools of terror might expose us to new threats. Disturbingly, these youths were radicalized mainly through the internet and the social media.
A broad two-pronged strategy seems to have emerged. It involves countering IS propaganda on the net, informing families of those who've been influenced, preventing such people from leaving the country, and putting them through counseling sessions. For those who've already joined IS, the police will take a more humane approach and be as soft as possible within the confines of the law.
Fighting the radical and violent ideology of the Islamic State delicately, largely through education and awareness, may sound perfect in strategy. But can the Indian police, which is largely understaffed, ill-equipped and technologically challenged, deliver? With Saurabh Gupta in Mumbai and camera person Sanjay Chakraborty in Guwahati, Shudhiranjan Sen for NDTV.
So has there been something profound in terms of a change? Why did Rajnath Singh have to say what he did? Why did top cops from across the country announce their real concern about ISIS? Well, joining us now to debate this, KC Singh, former Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, Nalin Kohli, spokesperson of the BJP, Sanjay Jha, spokesperson of the Congress, Praveen Swami, National Editor of Strategic Affairs at the Indian Express. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Singh, we've been debating this now for a while. Is ISIS a threat? Is ISIS not a threat? What seems to have happened now is that there is clear evidence of just a handful of Indians having gone across. Now one of them has been brought back. But is there now perhaps a more credible indicator that India is at risk, because there could be an internal understanding by people saying that, look, we accept the ideology of ISIS and yes, we want to go across. Have we reached that stage? Mr. Singh, can you hear me? All right, let me just put that same question, in fact, to Praveen Swami. We'll get that line.
You asked me.
Yeah, okay, I did. I did, KC, sir. Can you go ahead?
I'll answer that.
Yes.
I'll answer that.
Yes, please do.
Vishnu, this is nothing new. As you know, besides being finally secretary, I was also coordinator for counterterrorism.
Yes.
So even in 2007, 2008, use of the cyber waves was something which was being discussed. In fact, in the West, what they've done is it's a double-edged weapon, because there are a lot of ghost sites set up by the counterintelligence units from where they're able to pick up people who might be prospective recruits. But after the Al-Qaeda leadership was pinned down because of aerial strikes, etc., it's really not direct messages going out from them. It became outsourced, and the internet became the main element through which there was first inspiration, then recruitment. There would not be direct recruitment, there'll be numbers, etc., and they'll see who are the people who are approaching them, and then they'll direct them somewhere else. And third is simply the secrecy and the mobility with which they can shut down sites, open new sites, and therefore evade any possible scrutiny from the intelligence. So it is nothing new, but this is only one element of it. And I think what BJP has to watch out for is that if you do things like love jihad, etc., you are actually only fighting half the battle. Going after them is only one part of the battle. But you have to prevent, and for preventive thing, minds and hearts are extremely important. And the ones being recruited now are educated people, are engineers. They are not illiterates. They are not cannon fodder like from the Afghan-Pakistan border. So BJP has to be very careful. It can't be just a stick. You have also to apply your mind to curbing their extreme right-wing groups which go on making the community insecure.
Nalin, you know, it's an interesting point.
That Islamic Mujahideen was founded after the Godhra riots.
It's an interesting point that Ambassador Singh has to make, that a lot of the people who are attracted, not that many, the numbers are not very large, are educated people, who are people who ideologically have an affiliation in a sense with ISIS. Is that perhaps the biggest concern? These are educated people.
Well, Ambassador Singh made some points that were related to his experience, and then he tried to draw two examples, and I think incorrectly made assessments. And I'll go one by one. When he referred to Godhra and Gujarat, so sure, there may have been organizations that grew after the Gujarat riots. However, he has failed to see the original point of the riots, which was the Godhra burning down of the train, of the coach, in which 57 people died. And in that, certainly the BJP had no hand. The BJP was in government when the riots took place. To straight away juxtapose the riots to the BJP would mean that Ambassador Singh would, from 1947 right up to the Delhi riots, reject every government of India under the Congress. So I think let's keep the communal debate and the secular debate out of something that is far more important, and that something is not of the BJP's creation. The BJP is in government, and as the ruling party, it is responsible for the welfare of every Indian, not those who only voted for us. And we have to look at the security of every Indian. Again, not only those who voted for us and on communal lines, as it might be sometimes averred. So the fact of the matter remains that the internet is a tool of, it's after all the medium of communication for millions. It's the place of indoctrination for millions. You can even get the recipe to make bombs from the crudest elements to almost down the nuclear thing. So it's a massive amount of work there. It's a global issue. It can't just be restricted to India. Irrespective of that, our requirements as a government, or being the party in government, would be to strengthen the agencies that work with it, that deal with it. Certainly there will be a humane approach that you could, to the best extent you go, without compromising with your security requirements, with your strategic requirements, and also the legal implications.
Okay.
So if someone does join a terrorist group, in the name of humanity, you just suddenly can't wish away the law. The same rules would then apply to murder, to rape, to
all right.
theft,
Nalin,
or anything.
I take your point.
There's a larger picture, and you require a more sensitive approach.
Right.
Not a politicization approach.
Praveen, you follow this very, very closely. You've seen ISIS, from Erbil, from the vantage point of being in Erbil in the past, in the recent past. What is the threat that India actually faces? Because at one level, it seems that we are more protected and are better off than so many other countries from whom there is an active recruitment drive.
Right. I mean, we need to remember, of course, as you've pointed out, that the number of Indians who have actually joined up for this is small. But there is a long-term concern that some numbers of young people will come back battle-hardened and well-trained. That's a well-founded concern. And in that sense, India's police and intelligence services do need to worry about this. I'll make 2 points very quickly. The first is, I think the internet gets a bit of a bad rap in this context. It's true the internet has shared, made the sharing of information and propaganda much faster than ever in the past. But there's nothing you're going to find at an ISIS website you didn't find before on, in say, Students' Islamic Movement pamphlets, or the writings of various Islamist ideologues, which you can buy on Delhi streets, frankly, if you know where to look. The second is that, while policing is part of the answer, I think what Ambassador Singh is well founded. Without getting into who did what and when, the fact is there have been 2 big waves of jihadi recruitment, one after the demolition of the Babri Masjid, one after 2002. Many Indian jihadists, the overwhelming majority, have not been poor people. You just have to look up the membership of the Indian Mujahideen to see that they are better educated and better off than their peer cohort. It doesn't take rocket science to know that a volatile communal atmosphere is going to generate resentments, which in turn will lead some numbers of young people to go off in an extreme direction. So clearly securing the peace, making sure that no section of citizens harbors grievances is going to have to be part of our counter-terrorism strategy. It's not the only part. Mr. Kohli is right. Law and order is vitally important. But law and order can't exist in a vacuum. And this is something I think the government has to take extremely seriously.